Hi everybody. I have some tulips that are getting a little old. Look what happened. A big wind blew by and all the petals came off, except for this one over here. But on these, all the petals came off. So I decided that I thought it looked really cool inside those petals. So instead of just taking the tulips and throwing them away, I decided it might be fun to dissect them. When you dissect something, it means you take it apart. So I'm going to take this tulip here and I'm going to dissect it and show you all the different parts of the tulip. So the first thing I have to do is I have to reach down into the dirt and I have to dig out the roots. Now tulips grow from seeds, but their seeds are really big and they're called bulbs. Look at this right here. Do you see that? It's super big. That's the bulb and here's all the roots. Now the roots are super important because it keeps the plant in the ground so that the plant doesn't fall over. But the roots also act like straws. That way the plant can soak up all the water and drink it all up. Now to dissect my tulip, I'm going to lay it down on the ground here. And you see I have a towel out. That way the floor doesn't get too messy. And I have this knife right here. I don't want to touch the teeth of the knife, right? I only touch the handle and the smooth part. I'm going to use my knife to help me dissect the tulip so I can see all the different parts. Now I'm going to start over here at the end where the roots are and the bulb is. I want to see if I can open up the bulb and get it off of the stem. So I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to cut right where the bulb and the stem comes out of the bulb. And I'm going to see if I can open it up a little bit. So inside the bulb, this is what it looks like. These are all the different parts. This is where the tulip grew from. And there's the roots coming off the bottom, where it attaches to the roots. See these pieces? This almost looks like garlic. I know it's not. I'm not going to eat it, but it looks similar to garlic. And look what's all here. How interesting that this was what was inside the bulb. Now here's the stem. I'm going to actually cut the roots off. Here's my roots, and I'm going to put my roots over here. There's my roots, there's my bulb. Now here's my tulip, here's my stem. The stem goes all the way up, and look at these leaves. I want to know how many leaves this tulip has. I'm going to pull it off. There's one leaf. There's 2 leaves and 3 leaves. This tulip has 3 leaves. Now I wonder if you can see on the tulip all the lines. Do you see all those lines? That's how the water travels from the roots all the way into the leaf. Just like how humans, just like how we have veins. See the veins in your arm we talked about? The leaf, the plants have their own way, kind of like veins of carrying water all throughout the plant. So this one had 3 leaves, and here's the stem. The stem is like a big straw that the water can travel up, and it feels really wet. While I pulled the leaves off, I felt a lot of water. That must be from all the water that the roots brought into the plant. Now I'm going to take my knife, and I'm actually going to cut right here. I'm going to cut the stem off. And I want to see if I can open the stem up and just see what it looks like inside. So I'm going to try really hard to cut along the stem and open it up. Watch your fingers. Do you hear the sound it makes? It's super wet. Look at all the water that's inside that was traveling up this tulip. It peels. Look at that. Do you see how wet it is? It's so wet, it sticks to my fingers. That's all the water that was traveling up the roots and up this tulip. All right, so that's my stem, my leaves, my roots, the bulb, And now I want to look at the flower. Look at all the pretty pink petals. I want to know how many petals there are, so I'm going to pull them off and I'm going to count them. 1 petal, 2 petals, 3 petals, 4 petals, 5 petals, 6 petals. There were 6 petals on this tulip. Now look what came off on some of the petals. Do you see these? These are super important. This is where all the pollen is. Have you ever heard of pollen? Sometimes people say they're allergic to flowers or they're allergic to pollen and they makes them sneeze. Well, this is where you find the pollen. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 brown parts that have the pollen on it. Now what happens is the bumblebees, they go to the flowers and they drink, and when they touch the pollen, it sticks to their feet. And then they fly to a new flower and they touch this part and it makes the pollen move. Look, when I touch it to the pollen, it starts to turn brown on top. That's how new seeds are made. When the bumblebees move the pollen, it makes new seeds grow. So it's super important. These parts are super important of the flower. Now, I'm curious what might be inside here. So I'm going to use my knife and I'm going to cut it open. This is what it looks like on the inside. It looks very similar to the stem, but I also see some bumps. It's a little bit more bumpy than the stem was. It's a slightly different color. It's a little bit lighter. And it smells too. If you guys dissect any flowers at home, you'll be able to tell how it smells. Look at the parts in there. This is the part of the flower where new seeds are made. Look at that. Now these are all the different parts of the flower and parts of the tulip. I think it's fun to dissect flowers. If you have any flowers at home that your mommy or daddy don't want anymore, instead of throwing it away, you can ask them if you can dissect it also. I hope you had fun watching the inside of the plant. Bye.